Today, we're diving into the deepest, dankest, and most questionably legal corner of motorcycling for one reason and one reason only: to discuss the top 7 degenerate Squid motorcycles. You might be a responsible, mature, at-gat-wearing nerd who checks their tire pressures and takes daily showers, but the bikes on this list today are an entirely different story. They don't want you to be responsible. They want you to do dumb stuff. They're like a bad influence friend that whispers in your ear, "Bro, what if we built a ramp?" Some bikes turn normal riders into squids. Some bikes attract them like a Walmart attracts oversized Caucasians in pajama pants. So throw on your flip-flops and get your tank top on, and let's go for a ride, baby. The Suzuki DRZ400 is legendary, though it is not noble. It is lovable, yet it is grotesque. It's like a golden retriever that lives in a trailer park meth lab. You want to play with it, you want to give it a little cute little pets and all that, but you're kind of afraid of getting hepatitis. The DRZ is a bike that is so indestructible that it will likely survive our impending societal collapse and be traded by drifters in the desert as a form of currency. This bike first dropped in 2000 and wasn't meaningfully changed in the last 25 years, much like the riders who ride them. It has a 398cc single that makes a claimed 38 horsepower and 27 foot-pounds of torque, but every DRZ 400 Squid worth their salt has done the 3x3 airbox mod, so they're probably seeing huge power gains. Every DRZ ends up living one of two lives. It's a super clapped out dual sport held together by zip ties and rope, or a supermoto owned by a guy named Bryson who doesn't own a torque wrench, who installed every eBay part known to man using only leftover Allen keys from an IKEA nightstand. And in fact, you're not even mad, you're impressed at that fact. The DRZ's charm is simple. It's cheap, bulletproof, and it's fun at nearly any speed. You can drop it like 400 times in a row and it's not going to care, making it primed for low-risk hooliganism. The DRZ enables squid behavior in the same way that Minecraft enables autism, and much like Roblox enables gambling and pedophilia. The DRZ is a bike you buy when you want to be an absolute menace with nearly zero consequences. It's definitely a spirit animal on the squid totem pole. The Honda Grom is a tiny titan of chaos. Groms are awesome. I have one myself. They're adorable, charming, and friendly. There's a reason they are among one of the best-selling motorcycles in America. Yeah, seriously. They're also one of the most dangerous motorcycle gateway drugs. You feed a gremlin after midnight and they'll turn into a monster. Give a normal rider a Grom and they'll turn into the premier star on Chive TV's top 10 most epic squid fails to restore your faith in humanity. Number 1 will make you cry. The Grom hit the scene in 2014, bringing with it a 124cc single-cylinder engine and 60 years of Honda mini bike excellence. If you think 9 horsepower isn't enough to commit a felony, any Grom owner can show you otherwise. The Grom scene is unlike anything else in motorcycling. Stunt cages, leaf blower exhaust, stretched swing arms for literally no reason, more parts made with Chinese precious metals than your local vape store. Because Groms are cheap, they're unkillable, and they offer a wide array of potential, let's say questionable modifications, they're a Squidmobile incarnate. You don't ride a Grom, you become a Grom guy. It shapes your identity and your experience. And that's an experience where you only ride in packs of dozens of other mini bikes like locusts preceding the apocalypse. But you descend on the Taco Bell parking lot at 1 a.m. and instead of giving birth to the Antichrist, you give birth to a gallon of nuclear waste in the bathroom. Grom riders prove you don't need horsepower to be a danger to society. You just need a mini bike and no shame. How's that Honda Nice campaign working out? It gave birth to this! If there was a Mount Rushmore of squid culture, a 2006 R1 would be right up there next to the Grom and the DRZ. A mid-2000s leader bike is the cheapest way to get stupid amounts of power for as little money as possible. It is a basic math equation. $4,000 Facebook Marketplace leader bike with 60,000 miles? Sign me up. Nothing will turn a 19-year-old into a man like 170 ponies, brake fluid that hasn't been changed since the Obama administration, and no traction control. It'll probably turn them into a dead man, but a man nonetheless. You're gonna be going into that coffin with a chest full of hair. A mid-2000s leader bike has everything a Squid could want. They're cheap, fast, and analog. They might say, bro, I don't want TC getting in the way of my pow-pows, my guy. Bro, that hot chick over there at that gas pump is totally looking at us, bro. Bro, I bet if we just kissed on the lips right now, she would totally come over and talk to us, bro. Let's do it. The mid-2000s leader bike invented camo cargo shorts as riding gear. It established white Oakleys as a mating call. If two guys pull up to the same stoplight, both on leader bikes with white Oakleys, a race must commence, with the victor being awarded his competitor's pink slip and his girlfriend. And his boyfriend, too. Buying a 2000s leader bike is kind of like adopting a pit bull that retired from dogfighting. They're big, powerful, and they might be a little rough around the edges, but you show it some love and a little bit of patience, and it may still bite a toddler if you let it off the leash. All right, let's get a little motarded up in here. The Ducati Motard is just a DRZ for trust fund kids who drink overpriced coffee while performatively reading Infinite Jest and drinking matcha as well. The Hypermotard is one of Pierre Terblanche's many awesome creations carrying the Ducati badge. It was first released in 2007 with a torquey V-twin making about 110 horsepower. It had a $14,000 price tag, a supermoto stance, and a rodeo clown personality. Well, okay, fine, maybe not a rodeo clown, but maybe one of those like highly trained French clowns that went to like elite clowning school or something, like one of those mimes. A Hypermotard rider and a DRZ rider are cut from the same cloth. Japan and Italy were once united as Axis powers, unlikely allies, but today they're united under the desire to do wheelies, curb jumps, and drag knees and roundabouts. There's something kind of beautiful about that, to see how far we've come as a species when we focus on what doesn't divide us, but what unites us. Wow, I might shed a tear. The Hypermotard doesn't just attract squids, it created a new subspecies, the boutique cephalopod. They're sophisticated enough to wear diesel brand jeans, but degenerate enough to leak the Epstein files in their family group chat.
I've heard your cries. You say, Yam, you're just giving away motorcycles all the time. I want to see you give away other stuff too. That's why we've introduced the first ever Discord-only micro giveaways. Every other week, I'm going to be doing tires, jackets, helmets, gloves, anything I can think of that you would want for your ride. Pick a lucky person on Discord, and they're going to win some cool prizes. You have to sign up as a member on my website, yamity.co, to get access for that. And December 26th is actually the last chance to get entered to win this Honda Hornet 750. Now, if none of that sounds good to you, head over to the website, pick up a hat, a hoodie, a t-shirt. Every dollar you spend will be an entry to win. We've got a bunch of great new designs that I'd love for you to go and check out. Head over to my website, yamity.co. Now let's get back to the show.
Ah, yes, let's talk about the masturbators of torque. The Yamaha MT Bikes took the idea of being a squid and made it fashionable. They leaned into the culture and applied their dark side of Japan design philosophy. They made bikes that communicated you don't need to be in shorts and flip-flops to be a squid. You can look like the protagonist of a neo-noir anime series instead. Formerly known as the FZ bikes, the MT-07 and MT-09 dropped in 2013 and 2014 and turned the industry completely on its head. It proved that naked bikes didn't need to be just middle-of-the-road commuters or carbon copies of the SV650. The MT-07 was cheap, fun, easy to ride, easy to wheelie, easy to crash, but also pretty damn bulletproof. With 72 horsepower from the acclaimed CP2 engine, it has been the starter squid bike du jour for over a decade. The MT-09 has an extra cylinder, an extra 40 horsepower, and a lot more testosterone. And the MT-10 must have an extra chromosome with how wonky that headlight looks. The MT bikes are crucial in that new rider to squid pipeline. You start an MT-07, you learn wheelies, you roast the rear tire, you sell it cheap for another new rider, you then get an MT-09, and the cycle just repeats over and over. Time is a flat circle. Everything we've done, we will do over and over and over again for eternity. The MT-07 is like a virus. One enters the riding community, and then suddenly everyone is dumping their clutches at redline. The next thing you know, you're calling your exes to let them know they should probably get tested. How could we make this video and not talk about the GSX-R600? The GSX-R600 rider wrote the book on Squid culture, which is kind of a real accomplishment considering most of the dudes who ride them can't read. The GSX-R has been around since the 90s and has now had over 30 years earned as a reputation of being the most dependable platform to transform regular humans into the HOA's public enemy #1. This bike's rocking the inline 4. It's about 120-something horsepower, high revs, and a magnetic-like attraction that causes them to end up in the hands of people who have absolutely no business being in that cockpit. The GSX-R Squid culture is an iconic portrait of the motorcycling experience for many. eBay fairings, Chinese slip-ons, stickers on everything, ranging from a topless anime chick to the Apple sticker that came with an iPod Nano like 20 years ago for some reason, basketball shorts and Nike Forces for riding gear. The GSX-R600 doesn't just attract squids, it spiritually calls to them. It's siren song haunting your dreams, pulling your ship closer and closer to the rocky shore. You put a normal rider on a GSX-R600 and within 48 hours, they will have looped a wheelie, lost their license, and they started saying, "sending it" all the time. The last one on today's list might be a bit surprising to the singularly focused sport bike rider whose limited scope doesn't extend far beyond the realm of horsepower figures and anime lore, but it is none other than the Harley-Davidson Dyna. This is a true squid bike. You might think Harleys are exclusively ridden by old-timers who don't have the energy to entertain Deb in the bedroom anymore, let alone get a little nuts on their motorcycle, but that's where the Dyna Bro comes in. Dyna Bros have been doing stuff on their bikes for decades now. Long before Grom meetups were filled with TikTokers wearing fuzzy helmet covers or MT-07 owners were clutching up third gear wheelies, a special subsect of Harley riders were doing stand-up wheelies at 100 miles an hour. The Dyna has always been the preferred platform for Harley stunts. Tall aftermarket shocks, big torque from the engine, and a long history of builders and riders doing wild stuff on their bikes. You'll see a Dyna Bro doing rolling burnouts through the hills outside of Sturgis or ripping wheelies on a 600-pound machine on the freeway with ease. Huge, loud motorcycles with gratuitous mods and upgrades meant specifically for extreme aggressive riding that some municipalities could deem as reckless is about as squidly as it gets. If the MT-07 Squid is a 22-year-old kid who has a business management degree but works at his dad's hardware store and plays Baldur's Gate 3, the Dyna Bro Squid is a 45-year-old guy with tribal tattoos who lives off of his military pension and spends every afternoon at Neptune's Net. They are not the same. They are built different. So there you have it, folks, the top 7 bikes for degenerate squid riders. These machines attract or create the loudest, rowdiest, most flamboyant riders on the planet. Fun, chaotic, and just a little bit dangerous. Thanks so much for making it to the end of today's video. Make sure you keep in touch with the Antichrist you birthed at the Taco Bell, and I will catch you all later. Fact, in the Philippines, McDonald's serves spaghetti. What the hell is even that? Goodbye.